I paid my brother's rent for 6 months when he lost his job. When I got laid off, I asked if I could crash on his couch for a few weeks. He said, "I don't want your depressed energy in my apartment." Then he posted a meme about cutting off toxic people. My brother told me I was bringing depressed energy into his life 2 days after I lost my job. The same brother whose rent I paid for 6 months straight last year. I'm 29, he's 32. When his company downsized him out of his marketing position last March, he called me sobbing. Couldn't make rent. About to get evicted. His girlfriend had just left him and cleaned out half his bank account on the way out. He was a mess. I didn't hesitate. I was doing well at my tech company, just got a bonus, and he's my brother. I sent him $1,400 every month from March to August. That's $8,400 total. Never asked for a receipt. Never made him feel small about it. Just helped. He got back on his feet by September. New job, better pay, new apartment in a nicer part of town. Posted all over social media about his comeback story and his self-made success. Never mentioned me once. Whatever. I wasn't doing it for credit. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago. My company had massive layoffs. I was one of 200 people let go on a Tuesday morning. Severance was shit, 2 weeks. My lease is up at the end of this month and my landlord already has new tenants lined up, so I can't stay. I've been applying everywhere but nothing's coming through yet. I called my brother. Asked if I could crash on his couch for a few weeks, maybe a month tops, just until I landed something new. I'd buy my own food, stay out of his way, help with utilities. He actually laughed. Then he said, "Dude, I'm in a really good place right now mentally. I don't want your depressed energy in my apartment. It's not personal, I just can't have that negativity around me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I said, "Are you serious? I paid your rent for half a year." He got defensive. Said that was a gift and I can't hold it over his head. That he never asked me to do that, I offered. That bringing it up now was manipulative and proved I had toxic tendencies. I told him to go fuck himself and hung up. 2 days later, he posted a meme on Instagram. One of those graphics with a sunset background and white text that said, "Sometimes cutting off toxic people is the ultimate form of self-care." The caption was, "Learning to protect my peace from energy vampires. Not everyone deserves access to you." I screenshotted it immediately. Then I went through my bank records and pulled up every Venmo transaction from last year. All 6 months. $1,400, $1,400, $1,400. Every one with a little note like "Rent help, love you bro" or "got you covered." I made a collage. His meme on top, my payment receipts below. Posted it to my Instagram story and tagged him. Wrote, "Funny how energy vampires are the ones who paid your rent for 6 months when your girlfriend cleaned you out and you were crying on my couch every night. Guess $8,400 buys a lot of self-care." My phone exploded. Our mutual friend started messaging him asking what the hell happened. Our mom called him screaming. Our aunt commented on his post saying she was disgusted and that she raised him better than this. He sent me this long text about how I was publicly humiliating him and weaponizing his lowest moment. That I was proving his point about my toxic behavior. That real family doesn't keep score. I replied, "Real family doesn't leave each other homeless. Enjoy your peace." He tried to backtrack then. Said maybe I could stay for a week if I really had nowhere else. I told him I'd rather sleep in my car than spend one night in his apartment. Here's where it gets messy. I'm staying with a friend from college now but her lease is short term. I've been hemorrhaging money on storage for my stuff. I start a new job Monday, thankfully, but I won't see a real paycheck for 3 weeks and I still need to find a place. My mom keeps saying I should apologize for the Instagram post. That I embarrassed the family and should have handled it privately. My dad hasn't spoken to my brother in 2 weeks and told him he's not welcome at Thanksgiving, which my mom is furious about because now the holiday is ruined. My brother sent me a Venmo request this morning for $500. The note said, "Emotional damages for defamation." I'm assuming it's a joke but honestly I can't tell anymore. Some of my friends are saying I went too far with the public call-out. That I should have just let it go and cut him off privately. That posting the receipts was petty even if I was right. But I don't know. He literally called me toxic and posted about cutting me off for everyone to see after I asked for basic help. After everything I did for him. Was I supposed to just take that? My family thinks I'm making everything worse. Am I a butthole? So Thanksgiving happened and it was a disaster. My brother showed up anyway. My dad specifically told him not to come but my mom called him the night before and said she couldn't bear the thought of him spending the holiday alone. She does this every time. He screws up, she bails him out, then gets mad at the rest of us for being upset about it. I almost didn't go. My friend convinced me I'd regret it if I let him ruin the holiday for me. She was wrong. He walked in like nothing happened. Brought a pumpkin pie from Costco and acted like that made everything fine. Didn't look at me, didn't acknowledge me, just started talking to my mom about his job and his new car lease. I stayed in the kitchen helping my aunt with the turkey. She kept giving me these looks like she wanted to say something but didn't want to start anything before dinner. My dad was out back grilling and I could see him through the window just staring at the grill, jaw clenched. We made it about 40 minutes into dinner before it exploded. My mom was doing her usual thing, trying to force everyone to share what they're grateful for. My dad said family. My aunt said health. I said my new job and my friend who let me stay with her. My brother said, "I'm grateful for learning to set boundaries and protect my energy from people who try to manipulate me." My dad dropped his fork. The sound echoed. My mom jumped in immediately with, "Okay, Let's just enjoy the meal. But I was done. I looked right at him and said, "You want to talk about manipulation? Let's talk about how you rewrote history to make yourself the victim." He didn't even flinch. Just said, "I'm not doing this with you today." My dad stood up. Told him to get out. My mom started crying. Said we were ruining Thanksgiving and that she worked so hard on this meal and couldn't we just be a family for one day. My brother played it perfectly. Stood up slowly, grabbed his jacket, looked at my mom with these sad eyes and said, "I tried. I really did. But I can't stay where I'm not wanted." The second he left, my mom turned on me and my dad. Said we were cruel and unforgiving. That he's her son and she won't stand by while we ice him out. That I embarrassed him online and owed him an apology, not more hostility. I asked her if she even read what I posted. If she saw the receipts. If she remembered him sobbing in her kitchen last year because he couldn't afford groceries. She said that was different. That he was struggling and I helped him because that's what family does. But that throwing it in his face publicly was vindictive and immature. I left. Grabbed my coat and walked out. My dad followed me to my car and apologized. Said he shouldn't have let my mom invite him. That he's tired of watching her enable him while the rest of us just have to deal with it. Here's the thing that's eating at me. 2 days after Thanksgiving, I got a call from my landlord at my old place. Apparently my brother contacted him trying to get my new address. Told the landlord he needed to send me some mail but lost my number. My landlord thought it was weird and called me instead. I told him not to give my brother anything. Then yesterday my friend, the one I'm staying with, told me someone matching my brother's description came by the building asking the doorman which unit I was in. The doorman didn't tell him but my friend is spooked now. She asked how long I think this is going to go on. I don't know what he wants. Part of me thinks he just wants to force a confrontation so he can feel like the bigger person by forgiving me or some shit. Maybe he wants to yell at me in person. Maybe my mom put him up to it to try to fix things. But showing up at my temporary address without asking? That's not okay. I told my mom about it on the phone this morning. She said I was being paranoid and that he probably just wants to talk. That I should give him a chance to explain himself face to face like adults. I told her adults don't track down people who made it clear they don't want contact. She hung up on me. My dad called an hour later. Said my mom is convinced I'm trying to turn the family against my brother. That she's talking about skipping Christmas entirely because she can't handle the tension. I asked him what he thought I should do. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I think your brother learned that crying gets him what he wants and he never grew out of it. Your mom enables it because she can't stand seeing him upset. And the rest of us pay the price." That hit hard because it's true. Every time my brother faces consequences, my mom swoops in to save him. When his girlfriend left him, mom blamed the girlfriend. When he lost his job, mom blamed his boss. Now that I called him out, she's blaming me. My aunt texted me last night. Said she's on my side but staying out of it publicly because she doesn't want to deal with my mom's guilt trips. She told me my brother has been calling family members trying to get them to talk to me on his behalf. My cousin apparently told him to leave me alone and he accused her of being poisoned against him. I start my new job tomorrow and I can't focus. I keep checking the doorbell camera at my friend's building expecting to see him standing there. She's been amazing but I can tell she's worried too. This was supposed to be a short-term thing and now she's dealing with my family drama invading her space. The Venmo request for $500 is still sitting there, by the way. I didn't accept it or decline it. Just left it. Part of me wants to block him everywhere and be done. But another part of me feels like I'm waiting for him to do something else so I have proof that I'm not overreacting. Does that make sense? My mom keeps saying family is forever and I need to forgive. But how do you forgive someone who won't even admit they did anything wrong? My brother broke into my friend's building last week. Not broken exactly, but close enough. He waited outside until someone was leaving and caught the door. Made it all the way to her apartment and knocked. She has a Ring doorbell so I saw the footage. He looked normal. Not angry or aggressive. Just standing there holding a coffee cup from Starbucks like he was stopping by to chat. When she didn't answer, he knocked again. Then he tried the handle. My friend was at work. I was at my new job. We didn't know until she checked her phone during lunch and saw the notification. She sent me the video and I felt sick. I called him immediately. He answered on the first ring like he'd been waiting. I didn't let him talk. Just said, "What the fuck were you doing at her apartment?" He sounded confused. Said he just wanted to talk to me face to face. That I've been hiding and avoiding him and he deserves a chance to explain his side. I told him I'm not hiding, I just don't want to see him. That showing up uninvited is not okay and he needs to stop. He got defensive. Said I'm being dramatic and that family should be able to talk without it being a whole thing. That he brought coffee as a peace offering and was going to leave it outside the door with a note. I asked him how he got the address. He went quiet. Then he said my mom gave it to him. I hung up and called my mom. She admitted it immediately. Didn't even sound sorry. Said she thought if he could just see me in person, we could work it out. That text messages and phone calls aren't the same as looking someone in the eye. I lost it. Told her she had no right to give out my address. That I'm staying with a friend who didn't sign up for this and now she's uncomfortable in her own building. My mom said I was overreacting. That he's my brother, not some dangerous stranger. That I'm treating him like a criminal when all he wants is to apologize. I said if he wanted to apologize he could text me. She said that's exactly the problem, that I'm hiding behind screens instead of being an adult. I told her not to contact me for a while. She started crying and said I'm tearing the family apart. I hung up. My friend came home that night and told me she loves me but she can't do this anymore. She said having someone show up at her door looking for me crosses a line. That she has her own life and doesn't need this kind of stress. I get it. I really do. But now I'm scrambling to find a place and my first paycheck doesn't come until next week. I've been looking at sublets and short-term rentals but everything requires deposits I don't have yet. My dad offered to help with money but I can tell he's stretched thin. He's been covering extra expenses since my mom keeps sending my brother money behind his back. Found out about that 2 days ago when my dad mentioned he doesn't understand why their savings account is lower than it should be. I did the math. My mom has sent my brother over $2,000 in the past month. My dad had no idea. When he confronted her, she said my brother needed help with his car payment and some other bills. My dad asked why he needed help when he supposedly has a good job now. She didn't have an answer. That caused a massive fight between them. My dad accused her of enabling and my mom accused him of being cold and unsupportive. She said if they had been better parents maybe my brother wouldn't be struggling so much. My dad told her our brother is 32 years old and needs to figure his own shit out. They're not speaking now. My aunt called me yesterday to say she's worried about them. That my mom is talking about staying with her sister for a few days to clear her head. I feel like I'm watching my family implode and everyone blames me for it. My mom thinks I'm vindictive. My brother thinks I'm cruel. Even my cousin, who said she was on my side, told me maybe I should just meet with him once to clear the air so everyone can move on. But here's what nobody seems to get. He showed up at my temporary address after I made it clear I didn't want contact. That's not okay. I don't care if we're related. And the Venmo request? He increased it to $1,000 yesterday. The note says, for emotional distress and reputational damage. I finally declined it and he immediately sent me a text. Said declining it was a legal admission that I know I defamed him. That he's been documenting everything in case he needs to take further action. I have no idea what that means. Is he threatening to sue me? For what? Posting receipts of money I actually sent him? My friend found me a month-to-month room in someone's house. It's not ideal but it's cheap and available now. I'm moving my stuff this weekend. She's been apologetic but I can tell she's relieved. I don't blame her. I'm relieved too. At least he won't know where I am this time. My dad asked if I'm going to Christmas. I said I don't know. He said he doesn't want to go either but my mom will lose it if both of us skip. That she's already planning the menu and acting like everything's normal. I told him I can't sit at a table with my brother and pretend we're fine. That I can't listen to my mom make excuses for him while he plays victim. He said he understands but asked me to think about it. I've been at my new job for a week and I'm barely holding it together. My coworkers probably think I'm weird because I keep checking my phone expecting texts from my brother or my mom. I've started having anxiety about someone showing up at my office even though he doesn't know where I work. Last night I got a friend request on Facebook from an account I didn't recognize. No profile picture, barely any information. I clicked on it and the only mutual friend was my brother. I didn't accept it but I can't stop thinking about it. Is he making fake accounts to check on me? Am I being paranoid? My friend, the one whose place I'm leaving, said something that's been stuck in my head. She said, your brother acts like the victim because your mom taught him that's how you get what you want. And she taught you that standing up for yourself makes you the villain. I think she's right. But I don't know how to fix it. Christmas didn't happen because my brother called the police on me. I need to back up. Last Monday I got a letter at my new place. Don't know how he found the address but there it was, hand-delivered, shoved under my door. Not mailed. Under the door. The letter was 3 pages long. Typed, not handwritten. It started with how hurt he was by my campaign of harassment and public humiliation. How I've been poisoning the family against him. How he suffered panic attacks and insomnia because of my Instagram post. How his therapist diagnosed him with trauma from my behavior. Then it got weird. He itemized every time I've been unkind to him growing up. When I was 12 and didn't invite him to hang out with my friends. When I was 16 and told him his band was terrible. When I was 20 and moved out without asking if he wanted to be roommates. Stuff from decades ago. The last page said he's willing to forgive me if I do 3 things. Publicly apologize on Instagram and admit I was wrong. Pay him back the $8,400 with interest for the emotional loan. Never contact our parents about him again. I took pictures of the letter and sent them to my dad. He called me immediately and said, this is insane. He's actually insane. My dad went to my mom with the letter. She read it and said my brother was just expressing his feelings and that maybe his requests weren't unreasonable. That I did humiliate him publicly and maybe I should apologize. My dad told her he's done. That he can't keep watching her enable this and pretend it's normal. That their son is showing up at addresses he shouldn't have, writing manifestos, and she's acting like I'm the problem. They had the biggest fight of their marriage. My aunt heard it over the phone because my mom had called her right before and didn't hang up properly. My aunt said my mom was screaming about how my dad has always favored me. How he's never supported my brother the way he should. How she's the only one who actually loves him. My dad told her he's not doing Christmas if my brother is there. My mom said fine, then there won't be a Christmas. She called my brother and told him not to come. Said the family needs space and maybe we'll try again for New Year's. He lost it. Started yelling about how I've turned everyone against him. How he's the victim and everyone treats him like the villain. Then he said he's going to the police. That I've been stalking and harassing him. That I owe him money and I'm refusing to pay. My mom tried to calm him down but he hung up on her. 2 days later, a cop showed up at my work. My boss called me into her office and there was an officer standing there asking if I was me. I thought someone died. Instead, he said my brother filed a report claiming I've been harassing him and making threats. I was so confused I almost laughed. I asked what threats. He said my brother claims I've been sending him messages saying I'm going to ruin his life and that I've been showing up at his apartment. None of that is true. I haven't contacted him since I declined his Venmo request. I don't even know where his apartment is. The officer asked if I had proof. I showed him my phone. Showed him that the last text I sent my brother was 3 weeks ago telling him to stop showing up at my friend's place. Showed him the ring footage of my brother at my old address. Showed him the letter that was left under my door. The officer's whole demeanor changed. He asked if I felt safe. Asked if my brother has been violent. I said no, but that the letter freaked me out and I don't know how he keeps finding where I live. He took photos of everything. Said he'd follow up with my brother and that I should document any contact going forward. Then he told my boss this was a civil matter and apologized for interrupting my workday. My boss pulled me aside after and asked if I was okay. I had to explain the whole situation. She was sympathetic, but I could tell she was worried. Nobody wants an employee with a stalker brother showing up at the office. My brother found out the cop talked to me. He called my mom screaming that I'm manipulating the police now too. That I showed them edited evidence to make him look bad. My mom called me crying. Asked what I told the police. I said the truth. She said I'm making everything worse. That now there's a police report and it's going to follow my brother forever. That I've ruined his life over a misunderstanding. I asked her what part was a misunderstanding. She didn't answer. Just kept crying and saying she can't do this anymore. My dad moved out last week. He's staying with a friend from work. Says he needs distance from my mom until she wakes up. She's devastated but also doubling down. Told my aunt that my dad is abandoning the family during a crisis. My brother has been posting cryptic things on Facebook. Quotes about betrayal and family. A meme about narcissists projecting their behavior onto others. Yesterday he shared an article about false accusations and wrongful legal actions. His friends are commenting supportive things. People who don't know me or the situation saying they're sorry he's going through this. One of his friends commented, "Your sister sounds toxic, bro. You're better off." I'm trying to ignore it, but it's everywhere. My cousin sent me a screenshot of him posting in a men's mental health group about being falsely accused by a family member. The post has hundreds of comments. My aunt thinks he's building a narrative. Getting ahead of the story in case I go public again. She said I should probably talk to a lawyer, but I can't afford one right now. The cop called me yesterday. Said he spoke with my brother and strongly advised him to stop all contact with me. That my brother became defensive and claimed I'm the one who won't leave him alone. The officer said my brother's story didn't match the evidence and to call immediately if he shows up anywhere near me again. I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. How did asking to crash on a couch for a few weeks turn into police reports and my parents separating? My mom left me a voicemail this morning. Her voice sounded hollow. She said she loves me but she can't choose between her children. That she's staying neutral and hopes we can all heal eventually. That she's praying for a miracle. I don't think she understands there's no neutral here. My brother got arrested 3 weeks ago. Not because of me. Because he showed up at my parents' house drunk at 2 a.m. and kicked in the front door when my mom wouldn't let him in. My dad wasn't there. He's been staying at his friend's place since before Christmas. My mom was alone and she called 911. The operator heard him screaming in the background about how everyone abandoned him and how it's all my fault his life is falling apart. The cops arrived and he tried to run. Got tackled in the front yard. My mom's neighbor recorded it on her phone and sent it to my aunt. I didn't want to watch it, but my aunt said I needed to see what he'd become. He looked terrible. Thinner than I've ever seen him. Glassy eyes. He was screaming about me while they cuffed him. Said I ruined his life. That I owe him money. That the police are corrupt for taking my side. He spent the night in jail. My mom bailed him out the next morning and he's facing charges for property damage and resisting arrest. She tried to convince the prosecutor to drop it but they wouldn't. Said he has a pattern now with the false police report he filed about me. That's when my mom finally broke. She called me sobbing. Not angry sobbing like before. Defeated sobbing. She said she doesn't know what to do anymore. That she's been trying so hard to help him and nothing works. That maybe my dad was right and she's been enabling him this whole time. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Part of me was still angry that it took him getting arrested for her to see it. She asked if I'd be willing to talk to him. I said no. She didn't push it. My dad came back home last week. He and my mom are trying to figure things out. He told me they're going to counseling. That my mom admitted she's been sending my brother money for years, way more than the $2,000 he found. Over $30,000 since he graduated college. I had no idea it was that much. My dad said my mom grew up poor and never wanted her kids to struggle. That somewhere along the way she started equating love with fixing his problems. That she realizes now she made him dependent instead of resilient. My brother has been quiet. No social media posts. No texts. No random letters. My aunt heard from a mutual friend that he's living with someone he met online. That he told people he's cutting off his toxic family to focus on healing. Good. I hope he does heal. But I'm done being part of that process. My new job is going well. My boss pulled me aside last month and said she appreciated how I handled everything. That I stayed professional despite personal chaos. I got a small raise last week. I found a studio apartment I can actually afford. It's tiny but it's mine. I move in next month. Nobody has the address except my dad and my aunt. My friend, the one whose building my brother showed up at, and I are still close. We got coffee last week and she apologized for asking me to leave. I told her she had nothing to apologize for. She said watching everything unfold made her realize how lucky she is to have a normal family. I told her normal families are overrated anyway. My mom wants to do Easter dinner. Says it would just be her, my dad, my aunt, and me. My brother isn't invited and she promised she wouldn't tell him about it. I said maybe. I'm not ready yet but I might be by then. My dad and I have dinner every couple weeks now. He talks about retirement and traveling. Says he wasted too many years trying to keep everyone happy. That he's going to focus on the people who actually want to be in his life. I asked him if he thinks my brother will ever get better. He said he hopes so but that it's not our job to save him anymore. That we can't set ourselves on fire to keep him warm. That hit hard. I deleted Instagram 2 weeks ago. Too much anxiety every time I opened it. My brother's still on there apparently, posting quotes about forgiveness and new beginnings. My cousin sends me screenshots sometimes but I asked her to stop. I don't need to know what he's doing. The police report he filed about me is officially closed. The officer called and said my brother admitted he may have exaggerated some details. That's as close to an apology as I'll ever get. I'm not angry anymore. I think that's the weirdest part. I spent months feeling like I was drowning in rage and stress and now I just feel tired. Relieved. Ready to move on. Someone asked me last week if I regret helping him last year. Paying his rent when he needed it. Honestly, no. I don't regret helping him. I regret expecting him to be the kind of person who would return the favor. My aunt says that's growth. I don't know what my brother's life looks like now. If he's working. If he's okay. If he thinks about what he did. Maybe one day I'll care enough to find out. But right now I'm focused on building something stable for myself. My dad asked me what I learned from all this. I told him I learned that you can't love someone into being better. That you can't sacrifice yourself hoping they'll appreciate it someday. That family isn't an excuse to accept abuse. He said that's the hardest lesson to learn. My mom left me a voicemail yesterday. Said she's proud of me. That she's sorry for not protecting me better. That she loves me and she's trying to do better. I saved it. Haven't responded yet. But I saved it. I don't know if my brother and I will ever speak again. Part of me thinks we might, years from now, after enough time has passed. Part of me thinks this is just how it ends. Either way, I'm okay. I paid $8,400 to learn that I deserve better than someone who keeps score. Worth every penny.